After the Divine Mother asks Ashwapati to leave it to the divine will, and all things shall change in God's transfiguring hour, he protests. His heart replies to her. We read a few lines. So he asks her, how shall I rest content with mortal days and the dull measure of terrestrial things? I who have seen behind the cosmic mask the glory and beauty of thy face. Hard is the doom to which thou bindest thy sons. How long shall our spirits battle with the night and bear defeat and the brute yoke of death? We who are vessels of a deathless force and builders of the Godhead of the race. Or if it is thy work I do below, amid the error and waste of human life, in the vague light of man's half-conscious mind, why breaks not in some distant gleam of thee? Ever the centuries and millenniums pass. Where in the greyness is thy coming's ray? Where is the thunder of thy victory's wings? Only we hear the feet of passing gods, not gods who stay and work with us, but who just pass through this world of error and darkness. A plan in the occult eternal mind, mapped out to backward and prophetic sight. The aeons ever repeat their changeless round. The cycles all rebuild and ever aspire. He describes the state of things as they are. He says, there is a plan, no doubt, in the eternal mind, that is in the higher mind, the divine mind, which is occult to us, which is not patent to us. And that plan is there mapped out, which is not visible to us who deal with the present, but for a sight that can look far backwards, or for a sight that can look far into the future, but not for us. And according to that plan, the centuries go on repeating their changeless round, the same rounds again and again. The cycles all rebuild. What is destroyed in one cycle is rebuilt in another and ever aspire. All we have done is ever still to do. That is, he describes such a monotonous task. We have to repeat everything that we have done before. All we have done is ever still to do. All breaks and all renews and is the same. Huge revolutions of life's fruitless jar, useless round, life's huge revolutions round and round. The newborn ages perish like the old. Each new age disintegrates and perishes as the earlier ages did, as if the sad enigma kept its right to repeat itself. What is done is destroyed, again it is attempted. This paradox, as if it has a right to continue till all is done for which this scene was made. till the ultimate objective of this world is achieved, as if that enigma, that paradox has a right to last. Too little the strength that now with us is born. He says, whatever strength is born with us is but too little compared to the task ahead of us. The strength is pitiful. Too faint the light that steals through nature's lids. Nature has put lids everywhere, and through those coverings and lids, a little light seeps through, but that light is too faint. Too scant the joy with which she buys our pain. This is a highly poetic idea that joy is a bribe with which nature purchases our cooperation, though we endure pain. Nature first sends us pain. You will read further on in book 6 how pain is the firstborn. And after the pain, nature doles out a little joy to us. It is called the bribe of joy. Even that joy is too scant, trifling. In a brute world, that knows not its own sense, this is a world mechanical, which does not know where it is proceeding, why it is doing what. Thought racked upon the wheel of birth we live. We live in such a brute world. Racked means helplessly turning on the wheel of birth. And we rotate on this wheel in our thought moments. The instruments of an impulse not our own, we are moved by an impulse which doesn't come from us, which is foreign to us. Moved to achieve with our heart's blood for price, we sacrifice ourselves, we give up our heart's blood in order to achieve something. That's the price we pay. And all that we achieve is half knowledge, half creations that soon tire. Naturally, because they are half creations and half knowledge, they don't satisfy for long. A foiled immortal soul in perishing limbs, baffled and beaten back, we labor still. Ours is no doubt an immortal soul, but it has been given limbs which are perishing, which gets weak by age and perish. And the soul is baffled, foiled. Its purpose is not achieved, it is frustrated, and therefore it is baffled and beaten back. But with all that, we labor still. Annulled, frustrated, spent, we still survive. We are cancelled, we are disappointed, we have wasted our energies, but with all that, we survive. In anguish we labor, in pain, in suffering, we work, we labor. in order that from us may rise a larger seeing man with nobler heart. From this inferior humanity, a larger seeing humanity with a broader and a farther vision and a nobler heart, not that petty heart with which we live. In order that this may happen, so also she describes further the kind of man who is to arise out of the inferior man that we are, a larger seeing man with nobler heart, a golden vessel of the incarnate truth. He will be an instrument, a vessel that will hold incarnate, embodied supreme truth, the executor of the divine attempt. The divine is attempting something, and that new man will be the executor of the divine will, equipped to wear the earthly body of God. God's own body is something different. It is a celestial body. But here on earth, he has to wear the material body. And this man will be equipped to wear the earthly body of God. No doubt, transformed matter, communicant and prophet and lover and king. He will be the communicant. He will communicate the divine glory to us. He will be the prophet who will foresee what is going to happen, and lover. He will love everything as God and King, supremely masterful over everything. All the attempts of man are for this purpose, that out of his stuff, this larger seeing man with a nobler heart will arise. I know that thy creation cannot fail. Ashopati tells her, I know that thy creation cannot fail. For even through the mists of mortal thought, human thought susceptible to error, through all those grey mists, we can see infallible are thy mysterious steps. Thy divine steps do not commit errors. We may not be able to see exactly what they are, but they are infallible. And though necessity dons the garb of chance, and we know that we think all these things happen by chance, but if we look deeper, we know that it is destiny, it is fate, it is some compulsion that takes the disguise of chance and hidden in blind shifts of fate, necessity. Necessity is the divine will operating as a thing that must happen. And that works now apparently through chance, now apparently through fate. Fate forged by you and me. But we forge our fate because we are compelled by a certain necessity in the cosmos. So he says, necessity dons the garb of chance, hidden in the blind shifts of fate she keeps. The slow, calm logic of infinity space It is necessity that keeps the slow, calm logic of the pace, the speed of going of infinity, and the inviolate sequence of its will. There is a will which is at work, and it goes in sequence, one after another, and that sequence is kept unbroken. All life is fixed in an ascending scale. The whole life moment moves upwards. It is not that it is always going in circles, but there is some direction in which it ascends. All life is fixed in an ascending scale, and adamantine is the evolving law. The law that compels evolution is diamond hard. It cannot be broken. In the beginning is prepared the close, that when a thing begins, the divine will has already decided what is it going to lead to. So in the beginning is prepared the close. The beginning itself starts constructing, preparing for that eventual destined goal. This now, the present man, this strange irrational product of the mire is wet mud. That means symbolically it is matter. And this man has come up a product highly irrational. He calls himself rational, but all his actions and movements are highly irrational, because he does many things which are not good for him. They are not rational. This compromise between the beast and God, he can't rest at the beast level, he can't reach the level of God, so there is a compromise in the process of nature, and his present status is that of a compromise between God and beast. This compromise between the beast and God is not the crown of the miraculous world. He says, after all is said and done, certainly he is not the crown. He is not the final product of this miraculous world of yours. I know there shall inform the inconscient cells something will communicate itself, will fill the cells which are inconscient today. The noun is spirit, further on it comes. I know there shall inform the inconscient cells at one with nature and at height with heaven, a spirit vast as the containing sky. That spirit, the Spirit of God, the Spirit of truth, shall inform the inconscient cells, and that spirit is one with nature, and at the same time on the same level as heaven, and as vast as the containing sky. That is, it is infinite and at the same time identified with nature and swept with ecstasy from invisible founts. From invisible founts from above, it is swept with ecstasy, full of ecstasy, that spirit. And that spirit, now he describes, a God come down and greater by the fall. A favorite expression of Sri Aurobindo, a God come down. A Godhead which has come down for this purpose, though it has come down, he is greater by the fall, because by coming down, by this descent, he acquires a new experience which the other gods do not have. That is why a Godhead greater by his fall. Elsewhere he says, God in his heaven is not as rich, as complete as the God who has come on earth, undergone all the tribulations and sufferings, gathered the earth in his arms, helped it to grow. Now that Godhead is far richer than the Godhead who stays comfortably in his heaven. So this idea comes again and again. A God come down and greater by the fall. Now that God, that spirit as God, shall inform the selves, inconscient selves. And then he describes an experience of his. Why, how does he say so confidently all these things are going to be? He says, a power arose out of my slumber cell. When I was sleeping, when I was asleep, when I was in slumber, from that little compartment of my sleep, a power arose. One day. And what did that power do? Abandoning the tardy limp of the hours, it rose swift. It did not follow the slow limping speed of the time, hours. Abandoning the tardy limp of the hours and the inconscient blink of mortal sight, it is not handicapped by the blinking sight of man, inconstant, unsteady. And that power arose. And where did it go? There where the thinker sleeps in too much light, on that level, on that plane, in that region where the thinker, the divine thinker, sleeps, is in trance, but the light is dazzling. Even in that light he is able to go into trance. There where the thinker sleeps in too much light, and intolerant flames the lone all-witnessing eye. Flames here is the verb. The all-witnessing eye, the eye of Shiva, witnessing everything. It has a certain intolerance that things are still going slow. Hearing the word of fate from silence heart, that thinker, that witnessing eye, hears, listens to the word of fate, to the decree of God from the heart of silence. It's only in silence that you can hear the word of God in the endless moment of eternity. When this power arises and sees all this, that moment is endless. It doesn't stop. It saw from timelessness the works of time. From that height, from that region, this power, from the eternal, from the level of eternity, it sees the works of time. Overpassed were the leaden formulas of the mind. The hard and constraining formulas, limiting formulas of the mind were overpassed. Overpowered the obstacle of mortal space. In space you can't go beyond those boundaries, but that also was overpowered before this power, and he says he saw something. The unfolding image showed the things to come. The image that comes before this power that is a reason from below showed what is to happen, what is to come. Like as if on a screen, the unfolding image showed the things to come. A giant dance of Shiva tore the past. There is a magnificent, huge dance of Shiva tearing up all the past. There was a thunder as of worlds that fall. As Shiva dances, there is thunder. And that thunder is as huge as if the old worlds are falling down. Earth was overrun with fire and the roar of death. The whole earth is overrun with fire, consuming fire, and the roar of death. Death to the things that are old, things that no longer serve the purpose of truth. Earth was overrun with fire and the roar of death, clamoring to slay a world his hunger had made. Death has made this world by his hunger. And now, having made this world, he wants to slay it. Death wants to swallow. And that is why there is the roar of death. It is the Tandava Nritya of Shiva which signals the destruction of all old creation. There he says, there was a clangor of destruction's wings. The Titan's battle cry was in my ears. The adversary of God, the Titan, Asura, his battle cry was in my ears. Alarm and rumor shook the armored night, as if the whole night was armored to resist the enemy. And there was alarm, rumor, heavy report of sounds marching that shook the armored night. That is, there was so much of consternation, so much of a battlefield and battle cry. And he says, after that, once that furious movement has passed, I saw the omnipotent flaming pioneers, the pioneers of the new creation, the forerunners of the new. They have come from the omnipotent divine. I saw the omnipotent flaming pioneers over the heavenly verge which turns towards life. There is the border of heaven, and sloping towards the earth, on that verge, he saw these flaming pioneers descending, come crowding down the amber stairs of birth. They are taking birth. Forerunners of a divine multitude. A divine multitude is coming down to build the new creation. And these early pioneers are the forerunners, advance signalers, scouts. Amber, I should think, it is a symbolic color of, I don't get the exact. Just take out this dictionary. Amber. Shraddhalu says amber is fossilized tree sap. I think it has a very greyish color, orangish, orangish color. Amber, I think even in some synthetic jewels and all that, they have that color. Because here it is the stairs of birth. It can't have a distinct color. It is still in the formative stage. Somehow my dictionary man has left out that word here. Amber. Remember to tell him when he comes. Came crowding down the amber stairs of birth, forerunners of a divine multitude. Out of the paths of the morning star they came. Morning star, the star before the morning of new creation. They came into the little room of mortal life. From those heavenly verge, they have descended and they have come into the little room